The Euro Millions Mega Draw is a guaranteed €130 million. So spread the word to everyone you know. And if one of you win, you could be sharing the dream on a brand new private island. On Friday, September 15th, it's the Euro Millions guaranteed €130 million Mega Draw. Who are you taking with you? Play responsibly in-app, in-store or at lottery.ie. Share the dream.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Take to Radio. Have you heard? I'm David Silvani, your answering host, and joining me today is the very lovely Belynda Gates Turner. How are you, honey?
I'm good. I am less waterlogged now that Irma has blown past Atlanta.
And you're safe?
I'm safe. We had some trees and a nice little, some gigantic water flow. We get flooding here, but we're out of it, and it looks like it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Were you out of power?
Literally for 2 minutes, and it's
really?
Like off and back on. And my husband was really upset because he had prepared. He's like one of those prepared people. He had a marine backup battery. He had all this stuff. And like when the power went out, he jumped up, he ran for the lantern, he was excited, and then it like came back on before he could even get back in. And he was literally like, aw. And the rest of us are like,
I'm so glad, because it looked like when I looked on the news, it says that most of Georgia was out of power.
South
and I
Georgia.
think around your area too. South
really?
Georgia.
I didn't see a lot up near Atlanta.
Can I say where you're from?
Yeah, fine. I'm in Marietta. Yeah, I'm just north of Atlanta, and there were really not any power outages. We were worried because a lot of the cherry pickers and the power crews had headed south. They were already headed to Florida to help pick up the pieces, and so they had already warned us if we went out of power, we might be really screwed because the people that help us were mostly gone. So it worked out.
Well, it all worked out.
Yep.
Oh, I am so glad that you weren't hurt. I prayed for you guys. I know what it's like. It's awful.
It's really, really scary. So I'm glad that it seems to have, I know it did devastating things in the Caribbean, but, it just wasn't nearly as bad. I'm kind of glad the news scared everybody because I think that helped. I think people did the right thing and they evacuated and they took shelter and all that stuff. So disaster averted for the most part.
Thank God.
Yeah. Well, and it was nice that the soap stars have been doing awareness stuff. They had the big, they had a couple of events to raise money for the victims of Harvey, and they raised a lot of money. I saw pictures of a lot of the General Hospital people.
Oh, good. Good. You can. That's. We can start with that if you want. It
was really nice because right now, like at GH, we're not seeing Billy Miller on our screens because they've got Jason in a coma, and I'm sure everybody's like, "Oh, did he quit?" And it may have been during contract negotiations. I don't know, or maybe he just said, "I don't want to lay in bed for 2 weeks. I'm going to go skiing," and they just stuck an extra in there. But he was at the General Hospital with the General Hospital cast at the switchboard with his big, beautiful smile, raising money. So that was very nice. Yep.
It was.
Yep. So, all right. Well, I've got news. Some funny news, interesting news. I want to start with Bold and the Beautiful because Pearson Faudet is done. He, up and quit right on the heels of Rome Flynn quitting. Rome Flynn is, I'm sure Nicole's going to probably come back from Paris with a different husband since they were already casting for an African-American male of the exact same age and general description. But Thomas, I don't think is going to be, at least not right now, recast, but a tabloid site wrote the most ridiculous article. I don't know if you saw this. I literally laughed out loud. I won't even say what site, but they suggested that Michael Muhney might be taking over the role.
Oh, geez.
Because,
I do love wishful thinking.
Well, that is not even to me on the category of what I would call wishful thinking. That is diluted clickbait, and anybody who clicked on that should be ashamed of themselves because they're part of the problem. Michael Muhney is 40-some-odd. Pearson Faudet is 20-some. There's literally 2 decades between them. And so Michael Muhney is supposed to be Thorsten Kaye's son, I guess.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, whatever. And for my 2 cents, it's not that Pearson Faudet is a brilliant actor. He is. He's a very good actor, but he is Adonis. He's to me, the most physically gorgeous guy on all of the soaps right now. He checks all the boxes. He's handsome. He's tall. He's muscular. He's everything. So for me, the eye candy factor on Bold just like plummeted. It's like, Yeah. So I will miss him, but I did write this week that, and you can see it happening. Liam and Sally, there's sparks. And anyway, I don't
know how I feel about it in there. I'm not sure. But if it creates tension for Liam and Steffi because they need the tension, but I wish it wouldn't come. I definitely don't want to see Steffi go back to Bill.
Right, but I saw that too. When they had that hug, he had this little spark of evil on his face, and that was actually part of my article too. I said that Liam took the 2 things that mattered most to Bill, because he's not even thinking about Brooke right now, honestly. His power that he called Sky, that he was obsessed with, and Spencer Publications. And, we know what Liam holds most dear, and that was hugging on Bill. And I honestly think Bill is going to target her. I think he's not being a creep, and anyway.
So
that's
Michael is here. Michael, you have any comment on that?
Steffi and Bill?
Yes.
In terms of what? Them getting back together or something else?
In terms of Bill targeting Steffi as part of his revenge against Liam, because Liam, has taken everything from him.
I don't really know. I know that Bill and Steffi are basically friends, and they have been for a while. They even were in a relationship, and I think that's probably where this is headed. I really hope not, because I'm not really a fan of their pairing, but
we'll see. If you remember way back, she was so obsessed with him, she was ready to kill herself years ago. So we were just dovetailing off of the discussion about Pearson and
Handling
Jose
up.
leaving. And then we've also got, Michael, you can probably talk about this, about Francisco San Martin coming over to Bold.
Yes, I heard about that, and I don't think it's gonna be anything long term. It's said to be something really short. But he's a tool for Sheila. You know that
Right.
Sheila's gonna use him to get to Quinn, but I doubt she's gonna have any success with that.
I agree, but he's really good looking, so I'm happy that he's coming over there.
Yeah, and I hope he's a permanent fixture on the show, because I think Ivy needs somebody.
Ivy desperately needs someone. I really want her with Carter, but I don't think it happen.
I think they would be a good pairing, but
the only other piece of Bold news I had on my plate was Jessica Graff from Big Brother 19 is coming over. She's just going to be a hostess at Il Giardino, so it's a one-off like they always do with the Big Brother people. But it's
nothing too long.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's going to be just a blip, but it's kind of interesting because they usually wait until Big Brother is over and then they reveal, and it's usually multiple people, but she was so popular, I guess they decided to scoop up a little bit of that. So that's all my Bold news. Do you have any more Bold breaking news, Michael?
Let's see. Well, I think a hot topic right now is Sally and Liam. There seems to be something with their.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm excited about it.
I'm 100% sure that the show is heading in that direction.
Oh, I agree. I don't like Steffi with Liam. I don't.
I didn't. I always preferred Hope with him, and even when he was with Ivy, I still preferred Ivy with him. And I actually preferred Steffi with Wyatt.
I did too. And I think with Liam, he needs to be the knight in shining armor. He likes to rescue people, and Steffi doesn't need rescuing. She doesn't need anything. So I think he'll be perfect for after the dialogue today, when she owes him and how can she pay him back. I could see it. Yeah, I definitely think it's going that way. Do you want to skip over to Young and the Restless?
Well, I have a question I'd like to interject to both of you.
Okay.
And now we know that Rome Flynn is going, so, and we know that Zende and Nicole are both going to Paris, but are they sending Rain back later?
I know that she's not off for sure, and I also know that they're recasting the role of Zende. So I think they're probably waiting to see how long it takes.
They cycle the Avants in and out of the story, and so I think they're just going to, cycle her out. She'll be in Paris, and then, in a few weeks, she'll be back with a new husband, with a new face. Hopefully just, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so I think it's the same thing with Thomas.
Same thing with Thomas.
Have you heard that they're recasting him?
Yeah, I heard that too, and I actually heard of somebody who was actually trying to fit in his shoes, but let's wait and see what happens.
I think the show can do without Thomas for a while. because I think Sally needs to explore with Liam. So, we'll see. They'll do what they want, obviously.
That's true.
I am very disappointed on how this played out, but that's another show.
It is. Well, speaking of disappointment, over on what?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Key scene where we thought Liam was telling everyone in front of everybody what Bill did. I was so praying that, and then we find out it's a tease.
Everybody was so mad. I mean, Facebook blew up, Twitter blew up. I knew it was fake because Liam.
I did not.
Liam didn't have the balls to do it. Pardon my French. So, but that thing prompted him to get some gumption. But at that point, no way. Liam never ever stood up to his dad. So and there was no evidence for them to be arresting him. So the whole arrest thing was ridiculous, and it was like a crime show where they call everybody in to reveal the killer. So I was just like, nah, not real. And most people were surprised and mad.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
It's like
yeah. Go ahead.
It's like when Bobby power on Dallas. Remember how mad everybody was at that?
Mhm.
You know what I also didn't when they finally did it, I really, really did not like that Bill punched him in the face. And, they did that over on the-young-and-the-restless with Nick and Peter, and I didn't like it then, and I don't like it, and I mean, shoving is one thing, but for a father to hit a son like that, it really bothered me. I mean, I guess that's what they're going for, but I was outraged.
I was astounded.
Yeah. What did you think about that, Michael?
I was shocked. I didn't see it coming, for one, but I think it's some good meat for the story.
Oh yeah, because it's just awful. It's like he's just across the line, and
right.
Obviously, Ridge is going to be thrilled by all this. So
when he learns everything, and I think he will soon. I think they're also setting the stage for Ridge and Brooke to get back together. So yeah.
Oh yeah, which I don't care for, but I really wanted him with Quinn.
I actually like him with Quinn, but I do like him with Brooke.
Yeah, so, I guess my issue is with Brooke, not really the men. Is she just kind of smiles and nods her head no matter what they're doing or saying. So it bothers me as a woman. It's like, really, you have no opinion? And she just it's like she's drunk all the time. I don't know.
Hi.
I wish they would write her a backbone.
Yeah, I think it's about time they do something like that.
And speaking of the Logans, I love, and I wrote about this way before it happened. I love Wyatt and Katie. I wrote about it probably a month before it happened, and people they piled on. They were like, "It's not going to happen. It'll never happen. No, no, no." Uh-huh. And I love. I think it's one of the best things going on the show. I really like it.
Right. It reminds me of Quinn and Eric when they started out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
But I'm just waiting to see how everything plays out when the truth comes out.
Oh yes, it'll be a lot of fun. Well, once I was just looking on my news list for Young and the Restless, and Greg Reichardt's back, and I'm really excited.
I'm excited too. He's back for what, just a couple weeks, probably 2 weeks. But as we know, in daytime, anything happens.
Anything
So
can happen. What is the plan? What's his plan?
Is it for the human trafficking thing, or?
I am thinking that's the reason why he's back in town, because somebody's gonna need his help with something. But then I'm not really sure.
Well, since they're using the app for the human trafficking, and he's the technical guy, that would be my guess. But yeah, we'll wait and see.
Back, it's good.
Let me see. Beth Maitland is back, and it looks like she's going to be back maybe for sweeps.
Right.
Mhm.
So I'm sure that's got Dina written all over it. What are you thinking about? What do you think about her
honey,
return,
go ahead.
Michael?
About Beth?
Go ahead.
I'm actually glad to see her. I think she's a very significant part of the show, and to be back, it makes sense because all her siblings are there except her, and they're all getting a part of the story except her. So it makes sense for them to bring her back in time for probably the reveal of who Graham really is.
Well, now here's my question: Does she know? Does Alice know about Mariah? I don't think she knows Mariah, right?
No.
I don't think
so, isn't it strange?
No, because taken at birth.
Right, but that's what I thought, and I went back and looked at the history, and I was like, isn't it kind of strange that Nick and Sharon haven't said, oh, by the way, Kathy walking around a city? That seems like a big omission.
I think they're going to use that as a surprise.
Yeah, I mean,
I know she's going to see her soon.
Right. Yeah, because, I mean, Mariah was talking about it because she was like, I don't think she'll know who I am, and then they were discussing it, but yeah, it's kind of interesting that Sharon and Nick have, even from the start, before they realized that she was part of this thing, that they didn't go, oh, by the way, don't be scared if you see someone looking like Cassie walking around town.
I found it surprising that they didn't bring it up, but maybe, I don't know, because there were two different cases. I don't know. She was taken right from birth, and I'm not sure. I think she gave up her rights. Sharon gave up her rights. Both of them right from birth, but so I don't know how they're going to play that out. But
well, Sharon didn't know there were two, right? I didn't think Sharon even
didn't know.
Yeah, she gave up the rights to the one, and then Mariah ended up with the cult with Ian, who's like my favorite character ever. I love Ian so much.
Ian is history. Yeah.
I love Ian. But, yeah. I just thought it was real strange that they didn't just give her the heads up. But then now I know why they're not, because, they think she's a scumbag and all that, but it just seemed very strange. Let me see if I have any other. Oh, yeah, Wayne Knight is on.
Oh, yes.
And he said in an interview that they were making a lot of jokes about Newman and Newman's, which I love, because I would have to yell at Newman if he walked in, obviously. Who wouldn't? So, Michael, do you have any more Young and the Restless news or updates or anything?
I think something that probably everybody is talking about now is who Graham really is. and everybody's guess is he's Ashley's brother. Oh, I wonder.
I don't know. Well, they have been mentioning Brent a lot lately.
Right. And they must have a reason for doing that.
Right. Also, remember when, gosh, this has probably been a month ago, when Graham and Ashley were sitting at the GCAC and they were talking, and it seemed a little flirty for a second, and Dina walked by and she pulled a face, like she was angry. And, the assumption was, for me at the time, was jealousy, that she was jealous, but, it might be something else entirely, because she basically just told Jack that he's like a son to her. So maybe.
Yeah, as usual, we just have to wait and see what happens.
I mean, it would be a big
Anything else? It would. Anything else coming and going at Y&R?
I don't see any here now.
I tell you one thing that's not happening that I'm tired of hearing about is flipping Adam Newman back from the dead, because he's not coming back from the dead anytime soon.
I know they had auditions for a recast, but nothing came of it.
Yeah, and then they changed, they swapped the writers out and Mal's writing, and
the focus has changed.
I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you were, because you were just getting on, but I was kind of making fun of that article that said.
Which one? Oh yeah, that one. The one about Michael being the Thomas recast.
Just insane rumor. Just not even a rumor. Just made up. Just so.
It's just something to get readers and to get money.
Clickbait, yes. I told David I literally laughed out loud when I saw it. I saw the headline and I scrolled right past, because there is no way I would click on that garbage, but it was just so funny. It was like, really? And I know people clicked. I know they did. It's like, quit clicking.
I am a prone clicker, and I didn't even click this time, and I just responded and it says, Michael has landed a plum role on the ABC new drama, The Good Doctor.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, and it's even if he was going to go back to a soap, it's not going to be at CBS. They're not going to rehire him. We don't know what went on.
Sad.
Yeah, we don't know what happened, but I just don't think CBS wants that press and the questions, and yeah. So that was just kind of funny. If we can skip to General Hospital for a minute.
Right.
Yeah,
Robert Palmer Watkins.
Yes.
He
again.
So his as of now, his contract. My understanding, Michael, correct me if you heard different. His contract is up in October, and he won't be on contract after that unless something changes. He was reportedly fired, because he even said he was fired. He confirmed it. But maybe the fan outcry has changed something, and they're going to keep him as recurring. What have you heard?
I think they brought him back to wrap up the story, because remember when he left originally to go film the movie, I don't think he got a proper ending. So it's either they're giving him one now, or he's back on a recurring basis. It's possible.
So we're not sure either way yet.
No,
well,
and himself is not sure either.
And the other thing is, with Steve Burton starting a week from today, my theory is, and it's obviously just my opinion, that they are kind of clearing the way, clearing the slate, cleaning some other minor stories out of the way, because this Burton, Jason, Sam, Franco, everybody's story is going to take up so much of the space, you know?
And I think there's much more than just Jason, because today it actually came to my mind that with Anna and Finn investigating their investigation, I think it actually leads to the return of Nicholas Cassadine. I just thought about it. I've been thinking about it, but it actually rests on my mind today again.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Jason story and the Cassadine story. I think those are going to be the two big things happening
for November. That's what I've been thinking.
And I think everything else is probably going to take a back seat for now.
And I laughed today because I said, what if Burton came on as Nicholas Cassadine? But then again, I doubt that will ever happen.
That was mine too, Michael. I was thinking that same thing.
Yeah, because
the casting calls that you had reported on, I linked to you and everything, but I had an idea, an inkling that maybe they're going to recast Nicholas with someone younger, because Tyler Christopher is really too old for the part.
Right.
There's a decade between him and Jeannie Francis. That's all. And he only needs to be, about 30 to have the 10-year-old kid. And if they replace him with a young 30-ish hot guy, well, that's great. That gives them a few more years on him. They could do a reverse Soros. Of course, I don't know what they're doing, but I feel like this Cassadine thing is leading towards him.
That's what I think.
With the plastic surgery and the diamond, because the diamond was found before Valentine came to town. Nicholas had that diamond, that stolen diamond.
Right.
And he was broke. And desperate to do anything for money, and he had taken out a hit on his wife. I mean, I don't think stealing is nearly as bad as trying to have Hayden murdered.
Right. And I heard there's a big reveal coming, and I don't think it has anything to do with Steve being back.
Right.
I think it has more to do with Nicholas Cassadine.
Well, and especially since Tyler's at days, and everybody knows, okay, that's it. There's no hope. He's not coming back.
Right. Why did they bring back Nick?
I didn't hear what you said.
I was wondering why they didn't bring back Nick, because he was good.
Honestly, okay, this is just my 2 cents as a woman. As the core demographic, Nick Seville was a good actor, but I don't think he was hunky enough for the part. That's just my 2 cents.
I agree with you, but I think what I was looking at was the chemistry that he had with Mara West.
Yeah, but I think Mara, could have chemistry with a garden hose. I mean, she is amazing. Because everybody always talks about the chemistry she has with Will DeVry, who's playing her brother. It's borderline creepy, She's just amazing. She has chemistry with everyone. So I think no matter who it is, it'll be great,
Wow.
I love her with Griffin.
I was hoping. I like it, but I'm not sure I do want it to go there.
I really just think that Matt Cohen needs more time shirtless. I don't really care who it's with. I just
a lot
think
of
he needs shirtless more often.
All right, I don't know how true this is because it came from a source that is basically opposing the both of you. But I saw that it says that Griffin will be in a triangle with mother and daughter.
No.
I saw that too, but it's just persons are gonna think that because of what happened with Morgan.
Right, and that's the same site that said Michael Muni was gonna be Thomas Forrest, and that I can't even with them because it's just clickbait. There's literally never a basis in fact unless they're copying something that Michael wrote or I wrote, you know.
Yeah. That's what basically.
I think Kiki is gonna. I think they're gonna have Dylan in and out for Kiki, and you know whatever they do with Griffin, I don't think there's no way he would get involved with someone that young. He can barely think about getting involved with a woman his own age. It would be drastically out of character for him.
You go with Kiki?
Yeah. That would just. He sees her as a kid, you know. I think he's going to have a revelation that he's got feelings for Ava, and you know, we'll see. But I say call baloney on anything about him with Kiki.
Yeah, I know. The thing is that Matt and Maura, I know we're going a little off kilter, they actually broke my heart in a million pieces. Do you remember that one scene when she says, how do you put up with being so, she says, how do you do it, put up being so beautiful, she says to him. He just about wept his tears. I thought that was one of the best scenes between those two.
That one, and when they were at the gym and she kissed him, and then he was like, no, it wasn't like that. But no, we all saw it. It clearly was like that. And you just felt so horrible for her. It's like when you know the in middle school all over again when someone asks the head cheerleader out or the captain of the football team and they're just awful to them. It was kind of like that. Like I could just feel how bad it hurt her. You know, it was just that scene got me. I watched it 3 times. Time they do something with him. I mean, they've had him for what, 2.5 years now?
Oh God, yeah.
They've done doodly with him.
He is a calming influence.
He is
on the show.
Yeah, but he needs a storyline. I mean,
needs
literally, anyone. He could even be with Anna. I don't care.
Yeah, he needs something of significance.
All right, let me see on the other GH News. We talked about RPW. Oh, yeah. Ken Tanaka. Did y'all notice him? He was the guard at Miscavige, however you say it, when Franco went to see. Yeah. He was the guard. Yeah. He was from Glee. He was so great on Glee.
That's right.
Yeah, Patrick Gallagher? Yeah, and he was. And let's see, and Bradford Anderson is back tomorrow, right?
Is it tomorrow? So soon?
Yeah, he was on the preview.
I thought he arrives with Steve Burton's character, but I guess he's coming in before.
Oh, yeah, no. That's I know where you read that too. No, no, you got to stop reading crap from that site.
I forget where I'm reading it from, so.
Well, if you just literally block that one off your radar, you're going to be a lot better off and have a lot more accurate information. No, he's back tomorrow because Maxie had tasked Spinelli to unmask Manlanders, but now that Maxie knows it's Nathan, she is trying to figure out, because I think she knows she can use that to get back at Crimson, but Nina knows, and Nina doesn't want her brother unmasked. So I'll be glad to see the Manlanders plot die. What about you, Michael?
I don't know. I'm not really Maxie and Nathan for many reasons, but I do like both characters, but I'm not sure I do like them together. I think Maxie was always better off with Spinelli. There's some crazy connection.
Yeah, I loved them together.
The show would actually invest in that.
Yeah. Have you heard the rumor, Michael, that Brad Anderson might come back on contract now that Steve Burton is back?
Who?
Bradford Anderson, the guy that plays Spinelli. There's a tweet. She seems to have some kind of actual inside access at General Hospital. She said Bradford offered a contract before and after Steve had left, and he turned it down. She said there's a chance that he might want to come back full time now that Steve is their real life best.
That would be good.
That would be nice.
A lot of persons would be happy because he's actually, very loved. So he wants to return full time to the show, and that connection with Sam and Jason and everything, is happening all over again. Then maybe a lot of viewers who stop watching will actually return.
Well, and he's got such a good connection with both Jasons.
Right.
So he could be like a bridge. Because for me, I feel very strongly that obviously there's two Jasons. I don't.
Yeah.
And now, Michael, I wrote this, and you can tell me what you think, honestly. And I did say that it was speculative and it was my theory, but I felt like that when Steve Burton first comes back, that they might actually pop him up in Billy Miller's coma dream.
I like that idea.
Just for a few scenes, because there's a disconnect in history right now, because Burton was shot, Burton was frozen, Burton was thawed, Burton got hit by Ava's car, Burton got Miller's face, right? That was the exact order. And there was no gaps, but then Helena had one of them on with her using, them as her assassin, and yet he was frozen. So there has to be two, and I think they've got to do a little tweak of history. I think they can do it, even though I don't like rewriting history. I think they can go back, and because they need Steve Burton's face to do it, because that's why the flashbacks to Cassadine Island were so stupid.
Right.
Because it was Miller's face. And it was like, no, it would have been Burton's face no matter what. Because Miller's face is constructed, right? So I feel like Burton's going to pop up first time in his dream. And the reason I think it is that promo has him in the black T-shirt, dressed as Stone Cold on Stone Cold's motorcycle, looking like Stone Cold. So I think he's going to pop up in the coma dream, and I think they're going to do some historical flashbacks to make room for the twin. And then I think he will come into Port Charles in real life as with another name or something like that. Something like that. I don't know. I think he used it two ways. That's my theory.
That's your theory.
Mhm.
Okay. Now we got to get Frank on the speed dial, and then we got to get Shelley and Chris on it.
I feel like that they have to do it, so because fans were so mad at Jean Passanante over her screwing with history, and they were tweeting at her, and they said Jason was never on Cassadine Island. And it was, the tweet heard around the world when she said, "How do you know?" And they sent her videos and dialogue and screenshots to show how they knew, because Jason was an ice cube, and Robin and Victor Cassadine were talking about him being an ice cube, and there's so much proof that he was always frozen. So I feel like Burton was frozen, and Miller is the twin that grew up around Franco. This is, again, me just, speculating. And that, I don't know. And then he got hit, and then I don't even know where they swapped them. It's going to be ridiculous no matter what they do. But I feel like with a little bit of flashbacks, they can make it slightly less ridiculous.
Yeah. I like your theory.
Yeah, it's probably wrong, but, I feel like it would be good. We'll see. Michael, did you see the thing? I mean, you probably wrote about it today. The actress that's coming, her last name on GH is going to be Caldwell.
Roseanne. Right?
No.
I'm trying to, let me see. Oh, the actress's name is Charlene Amoa.
I saw it months ago, and I was going to write about it, but her agency did actually put it up on Instagram, and I saw it the very instant that they did, and I said I was going to write about it, but then when I asked them, they deleted their post, and I said maybe it's nothing of significance. I didn't bother.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what role it is.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be any big deal. She has like 2 episodes. I was thinking maybe Oscar's mom.
Oh, and that's why I didn't bother with it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be any big deal. I think, anytime there's a little tiny part cast, then, places start going amok. But, yeah, I think either maybe a patient.
There's one possibility I thought about with her.
Yeah? Okay.
And it's that woman that Finola and Michael Easton were talking about, the one that's Valentine's connection with the jewels, that Cassandra
Pierce.
I can't remember. Cassandra Pierce.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Maybe. I had a slightly different thought, but Oscar's last name is Nero, and her character's last name is Caldwell, and since Oscar doesn't know his father, I would assume he had his mother's last name. So I tend to think maybe, Michael, I don't know how to say her name, Ala Korat, the other one that's got a really...
Korat.
Yeah, she's got another really short arc, I think. I think she might actually be his mom, since we don't know her character name.
Right.
That's just, guessing.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to get another soap actress to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be in and out, this kind of stuff, because it's all about to be...
I think...
Burton and Cassadine, That's all it's going to be, Burton and Cassadine. So, which is okay. I mean, it is what it is. I just hope the ratings go up.
Yeah, I hope they all go up.
That would be spectacular. I thought I had one more piece of GH news. Oh, Stephen A. Smith is coming back as Brick.
Sonny's confidant.
And he's like his spy gear guy. I think he's back on September 26th. And Burton will already be back by then, so maybe it has something to do with Burton. I'm kind of hoping that his new character, because I do think he'll be a new character. Like maybe he got amnesia when he got thawed out or something, who knows. I'm hoping he's a mobster. So we'll see.
We'll see.
We will definitely see. I'm flipping through to see if I have any more. TJ's going to have more scenes. I always like when he's on. He's hit and miss because he's, got his cable, his premium cable show. Now, let me ask you one thing, Michael, before we get off of GH. What do you think about how they're using James DePaiva and this Dr. Bench thing?
I was hoping it would have been something more significant because his wife is headed back to daytime, and I was thinking he would get a bigger role. I mean, it's not bad. It's not that bad, but I thought it would have been much better.
Yeah.
I hope he's back to stay.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually was the first one to speculate that he might be creeping on Kiki. I just got a bad vibe about it, like all of a sudden he's paying her a whole lot of attention, and I actually included in my article the psychological aspects of how older men groom younger women when they're being predators.
I know, I love that. I remember that article.
And I
remember you writing that one.
I still feel kind of like they could go that way because he looks creepy, and he's obviously, to me, playing up the creep factor. He's doing the creepiest smile, this huge creepy Cheshire Cat smile every time they show him, and he's supposed to have a date maybe with Alexis, but we all know that won't work out because Will DeVry is going to be back, and he's Will DeVry,
Mhm. But he's Jimmy DePaiva. So they're both heavy hitters.
Yeah, and so that's why I think it's got to be a bigger story, and him creeping, and also there's so much in the media right now. They like to do stuff that's trendy. There's a lot in the media right now about, inappropriate influence and things like that, and women being aware of things like that. So I feel certain that that Jean and Shelley would have written a story like that because it's very timely.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Michael, do you know how long Ashley Johnson is staying?
I am not sure, but the fans want her there permanently, and so if that's happening, I do hope. I mean, I don't have a problem with her. I like her and her character, but I prefer her on the Bold and the Beautiful.
Well, I was also the first to write that I think that they're going to put Valerie with Christina, and I always put mine as theories. I say it's my theory, and I don't think she's sticking around because the summer spoilers from the writers, and we're at the end of summer, said that Christina was going to have a romance with a girl her own age, and there's not a lot of girls her age that are single. And when Valerie put that kiss on her, it was like, whoa, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they're going to go there, I would rather they go there with Valerie than with Parker because I just think the age gap is kind of icky for me.
Yeah.
Ashley's beautiful. It's nothing. She's beautiful. The problem is Lexi looks like she's 14. That's my problem. So I would rather see her with Valerie. And Brittany Sarpy said that they called her in and had a meeting and said they were going to be using her more. So now that Jean is gone, who knows? All right, well, we are close to the 1 hour mark, David, and I'm sure that Michael has lots of days to talk, but I need to step away.
Okay.
There's not much. I think all we have is those Hattie and Marlena, Bonnie and Adrian. I think that's the most interesting stuff on Days of Our Lives. No, that's what everybody's tuning in to see. At first, probably, I think persons were annoyed, but when the story began, it's really interesting, and I am actually tuning in just to see that.
Anything coming and going in days so far?
Well, we know that Robert Scott Wilson is back as Batty Ben Weston, and Chandler Massey returns this week as Will Horton. Alison Sweeney is coming back next month. Eileen Davison. Lisa Rinner is headed back to the show. Louise Bell. Tyler Christopher is headed to the show by 2018. And then we have a new Sierra Birdie, Victoria Confal. I'm just waiting to see all of this. I think Ron is doing a great job. I must say that.
He is.
Because
numbers are up.
But when I started watching, this is the feeling that I had back then. Running home to see what's taking place. Really interesting.
The numbers are up, and I'm encouraged. And all us Ron Carlivati fans knew he could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting proper support from Sherry Thomas.
He's doing a good job. I had to say that. Excellent.
And for those who are a little on the nayer side of the three of us, who don't seem to like it, I say this to them: anyone who's not appreciating Days right now, Ron did not create these characters. These characters were already on the Days canvas. He's just reintroducing them and using it to the best of his ability.
Right.
So it looks promising, Michael.
It does. It really does.
And I think what's good for one should be good for all four. If one can go up,
we can only hope. We can only hope.
It's true. So is that all we got, guys, for tonight? And it's fine if you do.
Yeah. That's it for tonight.
That's it. Michael, I want to tell you, you come on so clear, and I'm so thrilled that you could join us.
It's because I finally have the internet at home.
Yes, we have missed you so much.
I have been going through hell to get it, but I finally got it, and I'm really happy I did. I'm able to do much more work now and to actually keep tabs on all the news.
Well, good. It's nice to hear your voice tonight. I was so excited.
All right, it's same here.
It's a good thing. Okay, guys, check your calendars for the second Wednesday in October. for our next one.
Okay.
And thank you so much to both of you. We got Belynda Gates Turner and Michael Thomas tonight. What a great show. Thank you both.
Thank you, David.
And we'll see you soon.
Yep, see you soon. Bye.
Yep.
Bye.
Get connected with Take Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit TakeTwoRadio.com.